So the third homework has negative equations, and by that it means that we can't always use the the difference method, which is what we've been looking at so far, where we look at the difference between the two equations. So let's get started with this one. Our first question, we solve in the old normal way. We can either make the x coefficients the same or the y coefficients the same. I'm going to choose the y coefficients just because that will mean I get rid of any negatives. So I'm going to make both of these into negative 5y by multiplying this one by 5. That gives me 10x minus 5y equals 60, and 4x minus 5y equals 18. So here is my equal pair. I can now look at the difference. It makes more sense to go from 4 to 10, so that's 6x difference. Because this arrow is going up, this arrow needs to go up. How far from 18 to 60? 42. 6x is 42, x is 7. If x is 7, 2x is 14. If I want to get from 14 to 12, I'm going to take away 2, which means that y is 2. Second question, I've got a negative, but I've also got a positive. This one, I could use a difference method because they were both negative. When you've got mixed sign coefficients, you still make them into a pair, but instead of being an equal pair, they're an opposite pair. So let's make this into a negative 3b. We've got 4a plus 3b, the first equation remains unchanged, and we've got 36a minus 3b, and that gives me 27. My pair is an opposite pair. If it's an opposite pair, then we need to add. So 4a add 36a gives me 48, and 13 add 27 gives me 40. And if 40a is 40, a must be 1. If a is 1, we've got 4 add something equals 13, 4 add 9 is 13, 3b is 9, 1b is 3. Here, again, we could make these two the same, we could make these two the same. Really is up to you. I'm going to show the opposite method this time. So this time we're going to use a difference method. And that's because this one lends itself nicely to multiplying by 3. 15p plus 9q equals everybody's favourite number. You all giggle when it's mentioned in class, so hopefully you appreciate that. Right, so this is my equal pair. They are an equal pair, so I'm going to look at arrows. So I'm going to go from the smallest number, which is negative 7, up to the biggest number, which is positive 9. That jump is 16q. This jump is 16, therefore q is 1. If q is 1, 5p must be 20. If 5p is 20, p must be 4. Same method being used here, and that's because these two can't be easily turned into each other. So we're going to continue to use the difference method. Be careful because it's still negatives. Double the top equation, which is 12m minus 14n equals negative 22. And then the second equation remains the same. And then we have an equal pair. Equal pair means we look for difference. Difference between minus 14 and plus 5 is 19n. One bit of help with that, think about going from minus 14 to 0 and then to 5. This jump is going to be 14, that jump's going to be 5, total is 19. We're then going to go from negative 22 to 75. Again, negative 22 to 0 to 73. 22, 75, total jump 95. N is therefore 5. If n is 5, then this is 25. What do I have to add to 25 to make 73? I have to add 48. So m is 4. On the other side, we have a worded question, so we've got some application. Let's make bow and arrow. That means we're adding them together. A plus B. And that costs 27. The bow costs £18 more than the arrow. So if we do the bow, take away the arrow, it gives us 18. Right? I'm going to switch this equation around. Instead of making it A plus B, I'm going to make it B plus A. And the reason for that is just so that the B's are over the B's and the A's are over the A's. I could use either method here, but because these are a matched pair, an opposite pair, I'm going to use the adding method. So because they're a matched pair, an opposite pair, I keep saying that, I'm going to add. B add B is 2B. 27 add 18 is 45. B is therefore £22.50. We can then work out the cost of the arrow by subtracting 18. This gives me £4.50.